Hello, this is Charlene. In this video, we're going to be talking about Venn diagrams and set operations. We're going to start out by doing two different things first. We are going to look at the information and data that they've given us, and we are going to label our Venn diagram. So let's look up here at the information. 239 people order a restaurant's lunch food bar. 57 people order tacos. 102 people select pizza, and 35 people select tacos and pizza. So, how many categories do we have? We have tacos and we have pizza. We have tacos, we have pizza. So, we only have two categories. So, that makes sense that we would have a Venn diagram with two circles. So, let's call this the taco circle, and we will call this the pizza circle. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to start in the middle. Okay, so the middle of our Venn diagram is this area right here. This area is the overlap between tacos and pizza. So it is going to be connected to this sentence right here. 35 people select tacos and pizza because the middle represents the area where they ate both pizza and tacos. It is an overlap area of the Venn diagrams, and it's always related to the word and as well. So and it's like both tacos and pizza, tacos and pizza. It's an overlap area. So how many people ate tacos and pizza? Well, 35. So 35 is going to go in the middle. Okay, so now that we have our middle number, that's always where you will start. You'll always start from the middle. Now we're going to work our way out from the middle. So it also tells us up here in our information that 57 people ate tacos. So we're not going to put 57 here because we've already accommodated for 35 people who ate tacos and pizza. So these 35 people had tacos, but 57 total people had tacos. I don't want to put 57 here because then I will be counting this 35 people twice. We don't want to do that. So we basically want to take the 57 and we want to subtract off the 35 that we've already accounted for. And when we do that, we are going to get the number that actually belongs in the Venn circle. So here we have 57 minus the 35. So 57 minus the 35 gives us 22. So 22 people actually ate only tacos. Only tacos. Okay, so the same thing's going to happen over here for the pizza. It says 102 people selected pizza. So 102 does not go in the circle because we've already accounted for 35 people here in the middle that had pizza as well. We don't want to count those people twice, so we want to do 102 minus the 35. So when we do 102 minus the 35 in the middle of our Venn diagram, we get that 67 people had only pizza. So that is the number in the middle. So right now we have three primary numbers. We have 22 people had only tacos. We had 35 people that had tacos and pizza. And we have 67 people who had only pizza. Now, it also says in our information up here that 239 people were at the restaurant lunch food bar. So that means that the whole rectangle, the whole universal set, all of these numbers inside the rectangle will need to add up to 239. But the same way that we had to take the 57 and subtract off the 35 in order to get this actual number, we are going to need to take the 239 and we're going to have to subtract the 22 that's in the Venn diagram, subtract the 35, and subtract the 67, and that will tell us how many people are outside of the taco and pizza categories. So when we do that, we do 239 We can do 239 minus the 22 minus the 35 minus 67, which gives us 115. And we could have also worked it a little bit differently. We could have said added the 22 and the 35 and the 67 to get 124. And then we could take the 239, subtract the 124, and it also gives us the 115. So 115 people that were at the restaurant and ate at the lunch food bar did not choose taco or pizza. They must have chosen something else or they were fasting. It's kind of trendy these days. Alrighty then. So now that we've got all those numbers filled in, we are going to be using those numbers to answer some questions on the next screen. Of the 239 people at the restaurant, how many ate? And that is going to be on our next screen. Okay, we can now see that 22 plus 35 plus 67 plus the 115, they all add up to the total of 239 people that were at the restaurant. Okay, so we're good to go. We can work with these four numbers. We're going to answer these questions. Of the 239 people that were in the restaurant, how many ate tacos? Well, if you want to know about tacos, we look in the taco circle. So this entire circle includes the 22 and the 35. And if you remember, we actually started out with 57, right? 57 minus the 35 goes to the 22. So 57 is how many people had tacos. Working it backwards, we would do 22 plus the 35, and that would give us the 57 people that our original information told us. 57 people had tacos. Okay. Same thing goes for pizza. Pizza, we're looking the pizza circle, and that means we're going to add these two numbers together, and that is going to give me 35 plus 67, and that gives us what they originally told us was that 102 people chose pizza. Okay, so the first one has an answer of 57, and pizza is 102 people had pizza. And then they want to know how many people had tacos only. Well, again, that's what we figured out originally. This part right here, this number right here, is the people who only had tacos. We do not want to count this one because these people also had pizza. So it is only the 22 people that had tacos only. Okay. And then again, we've got pizza only. The pizza only, again, is going to be this number, the 67. We had a total of 102 people that had pizza, but 35 of those 102 people had tacos also. So the people who only had pizza is the 67. So that's 67. Okay. And now we want to find out who had tacos and pizza. Okay, so that was the middle number. Anytime you have the word and, you're talking about both tacos and pizza. And the both area is this thing in the middle. This in the middle, the overlap is where they have both tacos and pizza. And that means and both tacos and pizza. So the 35 is the number that is both of those together. The people that chose both tacos and pizza is the 35, and that is in the middle. Okay, and then here this one says taco or pizza. Okay, so anytime we have the word or, the way I like to think about it is it's lots of choices. Lots of choices if we have or. It's like you can have any of these tacos or you can have any of these pizza. You have lots of choices. So it is actually going to be 22 plus 35 plus 67. And if we add all three of those numbers up, it is going to give us 124. So tacos or pizza includes everything in the taco and pizza circles, the 22, the 35, and the 67, and they all add up to the 124. Okay. Okay, we have our next problem. We're going to take the same approach. We're going to look at the information or data that they've given us first. So it says a student is selected at random from a group of 200 students, and 135 of those students take a math class. 85 of those students take an English class, and 65 take both math and English. And they want us to find out of those 200 students, find the number of students who take math or English. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, label our Venn diagram. So how many categories do we have? We have a math category, we have an English category, we have math and English. So just two. So that makes sense. I have two Venn circles already set up here. So I'm going to call this the math circle. It's going to be my math circle. And that math looks funny. Okay, math. Okay, math circle. And then we'll call this one our English circle. Two categories. Okay, and so we've labeled our Venn diagram, but we want to start in the middle. So we want to start in the middle. So that means we need to find the middle number, which is going to be the overlap between math and English. It also is the word, think of both. It's like people who took both math and English. Well, up in our information, it says here that 65 take both math and English. So they've given us our middle number. 65 is how many people took both math and English. Okay, so now we are going to, from this point, we're going to work our way out from the middle. Okay, so up here it also says that 135 people took math class. 135 people take math class. So again, like we did in the problem before, I'm not going to put 135 in the circle. I'm going to put 135 out here. That's like some total number of people who took math. But these people that took both are already accounted for. So I need to do 135 minus the 65. So 135 minus the 65, and that is going to give me how many people only took math. So 135 minus 65 gives me 70 people that only took a math class. Okay, so now we also have this information right here that 85 people take English. So again, I'm going to kind of put it out here. 85 people total took English, but 65 of these people are already accounted for. So if I do 85 minus the 65, that is going to tell me how many people only took English. So 85 minus 65, that is equal to 20. Okay, so we also had this number up here that says that 200 people total or students were in this group that they were asking, did you take math, did you take English, or did you take both? So that means that all of these numbers inside the rectangle, which is the universal set, all these numbers must add up to 200. So far, I have 70 inside the circles. I have 65 inside the circles, and I have 20 inside the circles. So if I want to find how many people did not take math or English, I need to subtract those from the 200. So I have done just that here. I have taken my 200 and subtracted off the numbers that are inside the Venn circles. So 200 minus 70 minus 65 minus 20. That gives me 45 people who did not take math or English. Okay. Okay, so our question, our final question that they actually want us to answer here, now that we've labeled our Venn diagram, we've put appropriate numbers in it, we've set it up properly. Now we are going to find the number of students who take math or English. And if you also remember from the previous video, anytime you have the word or, that means you're talking about lots of choices. Lots of choices. So that means that um, they took math, any of these math courses, or they took any of these English courses. So that means that it's anything that is in the math circle or the English circle. Lots of choices. So what are all the numbers in there? It's going to be 70 plus 65 plus the 20. And here we have added up 70 plus 65 plus the 20, and that gives us a total number of students who took math or English is 155. So the answer to our question about the number of students who took math or English is 155 students took math or English. Okay, so hopefully this helps you understand even more about how to use Venn diagrams to answer questions and to gather data for future questions that you may have. This video has been brought to you by Connect the Dots Online Math Tutoring. Before you leave, click on the like button and the subscribe button, and have a wonderful day.